I guess it is still not working, Agnava. Confirm it once again.
Yeah, we are live. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
Okay,
live.
it, yeah, it is there now.
Yes.
We can proceed.
incredible. We are back live, and let's talk about. Yeah, okay, cool. So we are live again, and coming back to our presentation on marketing for open source projects. Another thing is build around FOMO, and in my initial presentation for which was more like Web3 focus, I actually tell people how to create the FOMO effect. But in here we are also like very much into JOMO, which is like joy of missing out. So we are kind of like trying to do the another type of vibes. And I feel like when we are talking about open source economy and open source projects, you indeed are trying to be more welcoming and overstep FOMO. So if you are like a commercial project which has to sell things, FOMO is a right way to go. But whenever you are more of an open source and you actually want to get more people to work on a project, to collaborate with each other, you actually have to be more of a you actually have to work past FOMO and just create an inviting, like warm atmosphere. And okay, in here there are a couple of examples of a FOMO which I feel like is still relevant, but maybe not within open source space. First one is the one that I worked on. Is basically when we were launching Yumin Jun's collection on ordinals. We previously did one on Ethereum, and we were giving out 2 prints to lucky collectors, which felt like a very limited time offer. To be honest, I was even trying myself to win this one because it is like very cool. And another example in here is Avant Art. Avant Art is an art company. I don't know if they do this right now, but previously they were selling out art collections which were available to collectors for only 2 days. So you had 2 days selling window, and after 2 days you won't be able to get this in. It would be closed. Okay, content creation. In here, I feel like content creation should be fun and relevant to your community. And well, idea is that maybe I wouldn't focus on quality. I would rather focus on engagement and how relevant it is to the target audience, to the people that are within the community. And I would say that you have to just participate to be part of the open source projects, and therefore just be relevant. I don't know, like, you know, that it's like you have a friend group where you can joke about something inappropriate, and you have another friend group where you can't. So you have to kind of like, you know, to understand, you have to balance. And in here, another example, it was a moment at NFT art space where a dog with a hat sold for, I don't know, crazy amount of money. I don't remember. And people were putting this hat on themselves, or companies were placing the hat on the logos. So this was just an example of kind of like easy to create, fun, engaging type of content. And then storytelling. We in here I have like 3 pillars of storytelling that are in my head very relevant to open source projects. First one would be collaborative journey. Trying to explain how you work as a team is very important. I personally, like when we were working and looking at 20 different various projects, for me what was very important to see like the diversity of a team. Nationally wise, it was quite interesting to see how people from different continents collaborate with each other, or maybe it would be more of a, I don't know, like we never met each other, but now we are working together on this thing, and it was just interesting to follow. Contributor spotlights, which is more like specific impact of each individual. Sometimes you would have like tech people that are like chill and tech, and sometimes you would have like very more of a like fashion design kind of people that are all vibrant, bright about I don't know, like designing the scene. So to see how each individual contributes to project is highly important. Maybe like a cool example would be like Dolce Gabbana, when you kind of understand what is Gabbana working on and what is Stefano is working on. It's kind of like interesting to see each individual within a team and their contributions. And why in documentation, I would think it depends. Maybe it's coding, whatever you're working on, like tech-wise. I'm not a tech person, so I cannot kind of like explain it. But then I feel like if it is like more of a coder, stack-oriented community, sharing these specs is also quite interesting. And if you are like more of a marketing kind of person like me and you don't get this stuff, you can always work with a tech person to get it out, post it out, and share. And a little bit, yeah, work in progress builds more trust than final polish. Very cool thing with coding. I had a webinar with generative artist, so he was coding a lot of things. I don't obviously code and I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. But when he was kind of like explaining to me all these inside jokes, all the coding things that he posted, all the open source codes that he shared online, why they were funny or interesting or special, I feel like it's a very cool way to engage with your community. This is something I guess you may understand, but I may not. And I feel like it's a very, very cool thing to work around. Also, I'm very like anxious if this code even makes a little bit tiny bit of sense, because this was written by AI. So I don't know. If it doesn't, don't judge me. And again, communication, I feel like it should be accessible at the same time. It shouldn't be very niche, even though the space is quite niche. It can be educational, which can be super fun, because plenty of people are interested about how to code, for example. Even like right now, you can basically code with I forgot the name of another AI. I don't remember. It was Code, I guess. You can now code with Code, and it's gaining like a lot of visibility. So maybe Claude, yeah, exactly. Thanks. And it's gaining a lot of visibility. And I personally have no idea how to do that. And if somebody were like kind enough to explain, I would be happy to read and consume this content. So maybe being educational is a very cool approach. And if this is something you enjoy doing, I would suggest trying to work on that and be welcoming. It's just important to be kind, like you shouldn't be crabby. And okay, collaborative launch. Not marketing to your audience, but market with them. In here, I have also a very cool example. When we were doing Yumin Jun digital art collection, Yumin Jun is an artist who has like vivid smiles on artworks. And when we were trying to gain a little bit more visibility around it, we asked people to share a smile with us on Twitter. So maybe creating some campaigns that just invite audience to do something with you is quite cool. It can be giveaways, it can be, I don't know, it can be anything, but this co-creation contribution is quite interesting. And then you can just have a lot of fun with your community, which is always the key goal of having a community at the first place. It's not just the people you're trying to sell to, it's just people you actually have lots of good time with. And then in here, I have a QR code that you can scan. It's one of the companies that are currently my client. They are called KXSB, and we are currently working on agents and robotic accelerator, which is a hackathon accelerator. You can join it and form your teams online. We have an opening online, and then we have 2 events happening in London and Berlin. So if you just click this QR code on the website, you would have an option to join the accelerator. We are always looking for like fun interesting, passionate people to join us. So please do, and you always have me as a point of contact. And also, like a very important disclaimer, you don't have to be tech, you don't have to code, you can just join a team and be a designer there, you can be a writer, whatever. Like, if you are just passionate, just join in. And to stay in touch with me, I am also sharing this another slide. Oh, what? Okay. Okay, cool. I'm also sharing this one slide. You can scan this QR code. It would lead you directly to the website of my marketing agency, and you will find a lot of things like all of my social media, my Gmail. So in case you have any questions, or maybe, I don't know, whatever it is, you can just hit me up and reach out. And well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm passing it down to the team to see if we have any questions and things like that.
Yeah, hi Olena. I used to share actually.
Hi.
Hello, am I audible? Hi, I used to share. I want to ask. You just told that while we are working in a team, it is good to have communication skills, and it is really outsourcing. We grew with the team, we work with the team. So let me ask, if there is a guy who is a complete beginner, how can how can he start with the same?
Mm, could you please repeat this question? I understand when you're working with a team, how can you
Uh,
um
when someone is working in a team and he gets to know about teamwork, and he gets to know about outsourcing things. So communication skills might be a good point which is required to him to work in a team in a better manner. Considering if he's a complete beginner, this is a guy who's a complete beginner, how he can start with the same. Am I clear?
mm-hmm. How a complete beginner with a good communicational skills can start working within the space? Okay. Um, I guess if you were actually like curious enough and passionate enough, and you got lucky with the teammates, and they're actually like calm enough to explain to you how to get started and get going, I guess you're good. Um, I always believe that a lack of hard skills is not an issue, but a lack of soft skills is, if that makes sense. Um, so this is how I would kind of like vision it. Even this kind of experience working at KXSB and other QR codes that I shared with you guys, it was a bit mind-blowing because I had people that were artists and I had people who were coders, developers. One woman, she was actually like a physicist, so like a very kind of like science background, and they were all able to build a project, a very various projects using AI. And the projects were open source, so you can go around and play with them. Um, it felt so interesting because I feel like this diversity is quite like a key point for any open source projects. Okay, I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Olena, I have a question for you. Like, what role does storytelling play in scaling up first digital brand or creator community?
Oh, I love this question. Thank you so much. I think storytelling, it's just, well, I think we are all kind of living within a storytelling world. Um, therefore, it just makes a brand appealing. I just recently found out that we relate to brands in the same way we relate to people. So if I'm more of an Apple person, I can I honestly relate to brand Apple as if it was a person, and some Samsung people, they would be like, no, like they would be like, we get charged by the way we like brands, companies, etc., etc. And same goes for personal branding. And I think the only way to build up the story around it is through storytelling. Um, and I guess like you do have to be a good storyteller in order to succeed, or you do have to hire a good storyteller or work with a good storyteller in order to depict a thing you're trying to tell. And I personally am quite biased when it comes to storytelling. I may, there are like, for instance, two very strong projects, but the one that is able to sell it to me, to explain to me how it works, I would always prefer this one rather than the one that is just great and doesn't have this ability to sell, to communicate it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question. We have some questions from the comments also. So I'll just tell you. Like first question is from a marketing perspective. Do you see open source project as brand building strategy or just a development philosophy? Can you
Oh,
repeat?
no, it's, I'm thinking about it. uh,
Yes, sure.
Development. It can be, I'm leaning towards it being a development strategy if you're an open source. So it can be a very good marketing story. We started as an open source company. Sounds like a very cool thing to do. So it can be like a very, very strong storytelling point. So right now, I would think it's more of a development strategy. But then maybe I think in like 5 years or even less, we would see first major huge companies built within the open source environment. And at this point, I think once they create this trend, it may become a market insane. But for now, I feel like it's a development strategy.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I have a question for you. Ma'am, for the young contributors like us, those who are entering the open source, what are the practical steps they can take to build a credible personal branding that too early in their journey?
Okay. Um, I guess just spend an hour trying to understand who you are. Like, what are your strengths? I think everyone within modern world was born with a little bit of self-shame, I don't know, like a lot of these things where you feel like you're not good enough, not unique enough, not smart enough. And maybe just spending an hour and trying to understand why my story matters. This is like, I don't know, like I know a lot of Indian people are listening to me. And they were like, I met some people from India when I lived, like I'm currently living in Paris, and they were like telling me, oh, we have elephants, and I don't know, like it's always hot, it's raining. It is already very unique, you know, like your culture, your country is very unique, very interesting, very vibrant, and you may not just feel it and see it just because this is a part of like the place where you were born and where you belong. And the same way I feel myself, because I was talking to various people, various internationalities, and I was like, oh, being from Ukraine is also quite interesting, you know, like every winter you may get killed by an icicles. Like this is a thing. It's always freezing cold when it's winter. So it is like also a differentiator point. What I'm trying to say that spending an hour and trying to understand, oh, who I am, what do I do, what are my strong things, what I like, what I can actually market and sell, and then maybe taking all of it, the personal things, the technical things, the soft and hard skills, and trying to build out what is truly you. You can start with a tone of voice. I don't know, maybe your tone of voice is mysterious, maybe it's more of a joyful one, I don't know. And you just build around it, because I don't think you can build any personal brand without knowing what your person is, if that makes sense. And I encourage everyone to try to understand that they are unique, interesting, special, and their story has to be told. Yeah. Inspirational answers to questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Hello.
I
Yeah, ma'am. So moving to the next questions, Aryan, over to you.
yeah, sure.
Can I ask one
So
question? Like,
yeah, sure. You can ask.
yeah, so I'm the campus lead at my campus, and I want to ask that how the good leadership or better leadership or like contribution should be done by our side to contribute in our community.
Okay. The question is, how should we contribute to a community, being a member of a community? Is this correct? I okay. I hope so or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I guess you just be you, do you, do whatever you want. Because I don't know, like some people who they're just not, I don't know, they just don't like texting and they don't text all the time. Some people they respond within 5 minutes. So just it's up to you, I guess. It's like within a family group or a friend group, you just do whatever you want. You do you and then see how it turns out to be. Yeah.
Okay, Rupali, I think you got your answer. Uh, so I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
question. Yeah, thank you, Rupali. So I have a question. In your experience, what mistakes do beginners or usually make the that like to stop them from getting quality collaborators? You got the
Mm-hmm.
questions?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess being a little bit picky about who you're collaborating with, this is actually like, I don't know, this person is not tech enough for me, or I don't know. I think when you're being picky, it just means that you are not flexible. You are not able to work within various people, within various companies and various environments. And I would say that being less picky would actually get you further because you would be able to work with various people and gain various experiences. So in this case, I would say just go with the flow and don't be like very like precise about who you are working with, because sometimes when you let yourself just end up in a group of new people, you may enjoy it. You may enjoy it more. Um, and maybe overthinking it. I think when you are like, oh, should I do this or that? I'm always on the side of you would rather do and then think about it. So I feel like you shouldn't be like overthinking your every tiny little step. Just do it and see what happens.
Okay, thanks for your answer. So I have another question. Is there any one liner which can attract non-tech into the open source like community?
One wider. Okay. Uh, well, I don't know. I have very stupid affirmations in my head, like everything I want wants me even more, and you can be like, I don't know, no, this is one wider open. I'm trying to. No, okay, there is no one liner.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love
Okay.
this question. This is the funniest question ever. I don't know. You can just what rhymes with open source? Open horse. Jump on a horse and get to open source. That's the one liner. No, okay, I don't know.
Okay, Rhythm, you can ask your question.
I think Ayush wants to ask something. Is there anything, Ayush?
Yeah, I'm coming with a question. Uh, what if you were building your personal brand from zero today within the open source ecosystem? And what foundational pillars would you define before posting anything online?
Hmm. Okay. I would say that perhaps when you are posting something online, you have to understand, okay, my target audience are, I don't know, in this case, it can be investors, team leads, or new team members, or maybe companies like Open Source Connect, Open Source Global. And when you understand that this is my target audience, you're like, oh, okay, I'm posting, I don't know, I'm posting my hairstyle, and I'm like, oh, okay, will open source global actually care about my hairstyle or not? And you're like, oh no, so maybe you should post something else, something that may attract team members from open source global. So I guess like before posting anything, you're actually like trying to understand, I'm trying to target these people. When they see this message, will I get them to act on it? Will they do something for me? Will they even get this message in their feed? So maybe like just working from who I am to who I need to how to get to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, like you told that storytelling is the most important perspective. So, ma'am, I had the question that there are many things, many brands, and many such things that around which we can't build a like that emotional story. So, what should we do in that case? Like, we go into hackathons, we go into coding competitions. So, maybe if we are building a model and we aren't integrating it to any sector, so how can we present it, pitch it in a storytelling way?
Hmm. Okay. I think I would rephrase it as I am building something important but a bit boring. What should I do? I don't know. I think even like the very boring things can be interesting. Um, maybe you can, if the product, the solution itself is very like kill me boring, maybe you can try and focus on the team, because there should be something in there. I don't know, like their stories, how they were contributing, or but if that is not an option, then maybe you can build build on top of it. You would be like, this is so boring, like what we are doing is so boring, but let us explain why it is boring. And you would be like trying, I don't know, like you can try and reverse the storytelling to your advantage, probably. And maybe you would be like, this is so boring and complicated. Let me try and explain to you as if you are 5 years old. Maybe this would be interesting. I don't know, because you, when you're talking to kids, even very boring things should be entertaining. Otherwise, you're losing their attention.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Rita.
Yeah, Irene, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we have some questions also. Like, uh, what's one underrated marketing channel that tech founders should pay more attention to?
Mm, okay, wow. I guess I'm not that tech savvy to know. I personally enjoy Telegram, but this is, I think it used to be underrated before, but now it's quite booming. I do think like you should look into Telegram as a way to get your community, because Discord is like floated with messages. It's just like too much. Um, but then let me just give me a sec. Maybe Reddit can be interesting though. Yeah, it's hard to advertise or be like aggressively marketing something on Reddit, but it's a cool way to connect within a community, understand them. I don't know, be anonymous, just have fun. So perhaps Reddit, though I personally don't have any experience in using it to market, because I think it's more of a long game kind of thing where be you are just being there without any purpose, without any end goal.
Okay, yeah. So we have another one. What is one marketing myth people still believe but shouldn't?
Can you please repeat it?
Yeah, yeah. What is one marketing myth people still believe but shouldn't do?
Oh, okay. Wow. You have a very interesting audience with a very interesting questions. Um, hmm. I don't know. Let me think about it. Maybe. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that you have to write tons of shit with I like honestly like you shouldn't like maybe you can use AI like what I do I use AI to polish my grammar because I'm not an English native speaker, you know. So in order to avoid embarrassment, I ask AI to like check grammar, blah blah blah. But asking AI to write you, I don't know, a post today is just annoying. And every time I open social media, I think like I'm overflooded with AI things that I just skip and I read less, therefore. So yeah, maybe like using AI everywhere when you're writing something is not okay. You actually like have to contribute to whatever you're posting yourself. And maybe I would say I don't quite enjoy um AI avatars because I actually like prefer faces over it. But then this is a little bit of a personal preference, though I do believe that I'm the majority. Like people would rather see your face rather than mid-journey generated avatar of your face. Yeah, maybe like be mindful about AI.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So
So
we have a last question, and after that we will wrap up. Can I
yeah,
ask? Uh,
Maybe you ask one and then read and then that's it.
okay, 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 sure. So, what advice would you give student tech communities trying to build meaningful global partnerships?
Mm.
Can I repeat?
No, no, no. This is actually like a very interesting point. By the way, if you are a part of the student community, or if you are a student, do go back in time and find the QR code leading to KXSB website. We always are searching for students. We collaborated for this accelerator with Oxford University, um, and a couple of other UK universities, because students are the drive. Like students are creative, they have the passion. So if that is you, reach out to me. I think there are many ways for students to get involved. And do explore the KXSB thing that I shared before. And that is just to say that like people who love students. I think those are the target audience within the open source space, like mostly.
thank you, ma'am. So the last question for the day is, in 2026, how can someone strategically use open source contributions to build a strong personal creative brand instead of being just another contributor?
Mm, that's interesting. Wow, okay. I don't know. That's very interesting, honestly. It can be like a tiny thing. I don't know. For instance, you always use one particular emoji. So whenever you're like talking to somebody with an open source thing, you have the emoji and you are already recognized by this thing. Or maybe you are, I don't know, it just depends. I think it just like it should be something that is about you. So maybe yeah, well, I don't know. You have to think about it and you have to create a personal storytelling around it and try to understand what differentiates you in particular. I don't know, like I had one founder, he was working on open source project which was like AI for healthy meals and sports, and he was like this big kind of like gym bro guy. So he was quite memorable because he was working on a personal pain point. um I think it depends. What makes you memorable is something that is personal, probably.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any more questions or are we good to go?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It
Thank
was
you,
a
guys.
great experience with you. Great session.
You are so kind, so cheerful. It's been so much fun to spend this evening with you, and I love your names as well. Like, Creates me such a cool name to have. Um, thank you so much.
Yeah. So,
Thank
ma'am,
you. Actually, this was a good thing for us, especially to having you here. So we are glad about that, and thanks a lot. It means
Thank you
for us.
very much.
thank you, ma'am. So, as we come to the end of this insightful session, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to ma'am for sharing her valuable perspectives with us today. So, your insights on branding, community building, and authenticity are not just for contributors but also for the creators and leaders. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking time with the Open Source Connect Global and for enriching our community with your experience and vision. To everyone who joined with us today, thank you so much. We would love to hear your feedback in the LinkedIn post, and you would like it would be appreciable if you tag ma'am. She'll also love to read your insights. And that's it for the day. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Bye.